Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Well, I finally found out where my son was. Like I said, he's in downstate. Um, by the way, Mother's Day. It's just another day for me, but I was kind of sad because I didn't see my son, but he did call me before he left and said Happy Mother's Day to me, which was very nice. He's never missed a Mother's Day. Um, what should I talk about? Let's start with I want to talk about Child Protective Services, Albany County Child Protective Services. Now, how I got involved with them is, from what I'm hearing, is his father, his biological father, called CPS and had my son taken from me. Um, how could I describe his father? I don't want to really get into that. That's another story you don't want to hear. He stayed in foster care for a while. I've dealt with quite a few foster care caseworkers. The worst one that I've had is her name is Elaine Christopher. Elaine Christopher, how should I describe her? She comes off as so nice and so, I'm here to help the child. CPS only wants children to brainwash them, to um basically it's the most minority children, African American children, are placed in foster care in within Albany County, or come out. They go through from a young age to adulthood. They receive not help but total trauma. They lie. I mean, they lie so bad. um I suspected that they were lying. I'm quite sure. I can, I can only imagine what they've lied on me about. Oh, she's crazy. She's mentally ill. They usually use that lie against the mother so they could easily take the child from, the one parent. Then they'll separate the mother from the father. Um, they'll usually do this by coming up with, if you go on benefits, you have to, name the father. I honestly named the father. It was the only man I was with. Well, he required, he DNA. At that time, DNA was very young and very early on, and I've been fighting that for quite a while. Never do I receive child support. I never have. Um, so it was just me and my son. I'm willing to work, do this, do that. Welfare is not a lifetime thing. Um, I, raised my son, but they always came back. You know, it's like a time clock. All right, this child is 3 years old, and we've got to take him. This child will be in foster care for 3 years. The 3 years, 4 years, whatever. Um, they will keep you in court. They kept me in court almost every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I was in front of Judge Gerard Maney of the Albany County Family Court. Judge Maney knows me quite well. And when I say quite well, I mean very well. Um, he got so tired of their rules until, he just almost, just every time my name popped up, it just, what is it now? Um, they they had, oh, she's threatening me. Of course, and I got to the point of, yeah, I threatened them. I continue, to this day, I threaten them. Okay, I'm not ashamed of that. I threaten them. Um, at one time when my son was in school, my son was being abused in school. Okay, if I took action, nothing would be done. But because social service was allowing that, um, they do all kinds of stuff. Albany County CPS will then you have to they mandate take parenting classes. Now here is where Parsons Child and Family Center comes in. Parsons Child and Family Center, basically my experience was not good. You could be A plus parent, they'll write you down as your F minus in court, the report to the judge. Which here's CPS with we need to extend this, we need to extend this. That is how they do it. That is how they keep the children in the system. I believe there is a quota of how many children are in foster care, the more money you get. The foster parents, it depends on how they're labeled. They get up to close to $4,000 a child. So if somebody has more than one child in their house from foster care, they're getting paid $4,000 a month. A month. After the whole foster care, once the child gets 18, other things start to happen at a young age. Once they hit puberty and your teenage years, here comes the police, the Albany Police Department. They start their reports. He's running away. He's truant. Blah 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 blah. And here we go with the PINS petition, and that got started. And then you're in the system with the juvenile justice system, and then that carries on. So as you can see, now we've moved from foster care into the juvenile justice system. After the juvenile justice system, again, court. Then you go into placement again. Then it could be jail. It depends on what they want. If they want this child to have the worst record carried over their whole lifetime, they will make sure that this kid has it. Any kid. Most African American kids in Albany County have bad records. And it's probably didn't happen the way they said it happened. Again, the Albany County Probation Department has snitches. Or they'll say, hey, man, come with me. And they're really working for the Albany County Probation Department. Whoever gets there first, I hear, gets to cut the deal. So let's say an armed robbery happened. And the person that initiated the armed robbery had the gun. They'll go to the police. And if they're the first one there, they're the ones that get released. The other one that they snitched on is the one that takes the brunt of it. Usually, it was my son. That is kind of the early stuff that I've gone through. Between the lawyers and, oh my God, the lawyers. I've had so many lawyers. It's a shame. I think everybody in Albany County knows me. It's pretty. I've had the child's lawyer. Basically, my lawyers, nah. I'm smarter than my lawyers. Most of the time, the judge knew I was smarter than my lawyer. I dealt with Gerard Maney from the age of William was 1 year old or 2 years old to the age of 18. And then that's when it got, the age of 16. Suddenly, social services always behind these things. The New York State Department of Children, Youth, and Families is always behind it. Always. They're always in the courtroom. They're always whispering to the judge. Then you got to understand all those years of report. They got to read them. So if they wrote the kid down as bad, what kind of thing? What do you think the judge is going to think? Pretty bad. Elaine Christopher, she was top. She was top devil. She still is. Hopefully she is not around children. Anything she says don't even believe anything she writes or says. My son did tell me recently that Albany County hates him because of me. Why? I tell the truth. I tell exactly the way it happens. And if they got they just don't like the truth because they are devils. Most of them are devils. Albany County, I believe when he was trying to get on his own, they denied him food stamps. They denied him housing, so he lived on the street. They gave no explanation. They don't have to. This is an organization that needs to be stopped. They are not there to protect your children. Not, no, no, not. And I think I've spoken enough. I'm kind of, kind of worried about my son. And if I get too worried, I don't know. Albany County will feel the brunt of it, that's for sure. And they can think of the worst things that I'm going to do. But I won't do it. I won't. I promise. But I will pursue federal charges against these people. I'm just really, really tired of the harassment after 30 years. All right, I think I've spoken enough for tonight. You have a good night, Facebook and YouTube, and I'll see you probably tomorrow.